leader. This is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. An update on a story we first told you about as breaking news last night at this time. Two people are behind bars after last night's crash on 1st Avenue North and North 13th Street that left a woman dead. Police said in a news release that 19-year-old Peyton Hunter of Billings faces 3 counts of felony criminal endangerment, and 33-year-old Justin Bighair of Gary Owen faces a charge of vehicular homicide while under the influence and 3 counts of felony criminal endangerment. Hunter was driving a Dodge Ram 2500 west on 1st Avenue North when it collided with a Toyota Tundra driven by Bighair as it was turning east onto 1st Avenue North from North 12th Street. A 19-year-old woman who was a passenger in the Ram with Hunter died at the scene, while a 31-year-old passenger in the Tundra was treated at the scene and released. Hunter and Bighair were taken to the hospital for treatment, then later released into the custody of police. Well, a quick response from Shepherd firefighters kept a small grass fire away from a home and from spreading tonight. A call coming in this afternoon around 4:45 for the fire on Pleasant Hollow Trail near E.W. Tenney Road. The fire burned about 4 acres and destroyed a storage shed. Shepherd and Laurel firefighters arrived as the wind was picking up. Crews from Lockwood, Blue Creek, Billings, and Warden were on the way, but were called off when the fire was under control. The severity response, or staff station, brings in extra crews from other departments as a precaution.
We try to get as many people on it as we can, as quick as we can, with the right assets coming in route, and we get the fires put out. But at the same time, we're not leaving the county bare, shall we say. We got on scene and were able to knock it down, get the active fire front down, and from there, it was just a lot of mop up. It's a great program, and it's helped big time.
Around the state, there are 72 active fires burning right now, with 6 of those started in the last 24 hours. There is some good news to report, however, as Montana's largest wildfire, the Poverty Flats Fire in Bighorn County and the Crow Indian Reservation, is now 100% contained. That fire, which began on July 27th, burned more than 66,000 acres. The state's #1 priority fire remains the Boulder 2700 fire near Flathead Lake. Despite the evacuations for Finley Point residents being lifted, many of the other orders still do remain in place tonight. Those flames destroyed at least 20 structures when the fire first erupted on Saturday. This human-caused fire has burned more than 1,400 acres, and nearly 200 firefighters continue to battle that fire. Now turning to Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh, we've had a lot going on with the weather the last few days, and really nothing helps tell the story better than a picture.
That's for sure, and we have them from all over the state thanks to you. Sandy Darrow around the Glendive area. You can check out the Yellowstone River and how low it is with all those sandbars, and they've been dealing with the drought situation there, but also some of that smoky haze here closer to Billings. Larry shared this one of the sunset trying to make its way through a lot of the smoke. In fact, we've had air quality issues all across Montana and northern Wyoming for today, and all the way to Great Falls. Susie shared this picture of hail in that area. Well, she was sitting out and had some of those marble-sized hailstones popping in. We saw reports up to 1-inch hail around the Great Falls area. The frequency of strong to severe storms starting to pick up. Take a closer look at those details in just a few minutes.
Well, COVID case counts continue to climb here in Yellowstone County as public health officials urge residents to get vaccinated. There's a good reason for that. The Delta variant is now causing a majority of the new cases in Montana and the United States. Q2's Mitch Leahy brings us more.
On Wednesday, public health officials in Yellowstone County held their first press conference in 4 months to urge the community to get their COVID-19 vaccine as the Delta variant sweeps its way through the state of Montana.
And we now find ourselves, along with much of the rest of the country, experiencing more disease and more hospitalization.
County Health Officer John Felton said Yellowstone County now has 50% more confirmed Delta variant cases than any other county in the state. Compared to the start of June, case counts in Yellowstone County have doubled. There's currently 246 active cases in Yellowstone County. Felton and St. Vincent Healthcare Chief Medical Officer Dr. Michael Bush said vaccines are the best way to prevent the virus spread and lessen the severity of the illness. Felton said since the pandemic began, 1,300 people have been hospitalized with COVID-19. Of those people, only 17 of them, or 1.3%, were fully vaccinated. And of the 285 county residents who have died, only 4 or 1.4% were fully vaccinated.
Vaccination helps reduce the virus spread, and it is the only preventive measure that helps make the disease less severe if a person does get infected.
If the situation does worsen in the county, it will likely take a longer time for any health officer directives to be put in place to curb the spread. New laws passed by the Montana legislature this year stripped power from county health boards and instead gave it to local governments. FELTON said he's working with the communities of Billings, Laurel, and Broadview to hammer out procedure moving forward.
Local governments actually make the decisions. Public health can make recommendations. We are still working through how that's going to happen in our community. At this point, we are a ways from making any sort of recommendation for community-wide imposed restrictions. We're kind of at the front end of this thing. You know, we've seen this before, and we know what it takes to slow it down.
Again, the Yellowstone County public health officials said that the community can control this virus. All that it will take is social distancing, masking, and everybody to get their COVID-19 vaccine. Reporting in Billings, Mitch Laggy, MTN News.
And Felton reiterated the same prevention measures we've been hearing for more than a year. Get vaccinated, wear a mask in crowded public spaces, wash your hands and surfaces, and stay home if you're sick. But with rising COVID cases, retirement communities across the nation are mandating employees to get vaccinated to protect the most vulnerable. However, in Montana, a measure passed in the legislature this year now prevents that. Q2's Andrea Lutz tells us how the Delta variant is impacting St. John's United here in Billings.
With an increase in COVID-19 cases reported in Yellowstone County and now with the Delta variant here, our retirement communities in town have been trying extra hard to keep the virus out of their facilities. In fact, they say it's something they haven't stopped doing since the pandemic began.
We're feeling a sense of anxiety.
An anxiety that those with St. John's United say is due to the COVID virus taking a turn.
Community spread of COVID-19, especially with this new Delta variant, is affecting not only the community but long-term care as well.
But President David Trost says residents living here are protected as well as they can be.
Our residents are so well protected. Over 95% of them are vaccinated, and so we're seeing very little impact to our residents.
Still,
but it is breaking through to some.
House Bill 702 passed this last session, preventing discrimination based on vaccination status. That includes employment.
702 has allowed for long-term care facilities to be exempted from its bill if the federal government adds additional rules. A dozen staff from time to time over the last 6 months get COVID-19, and each time that happens, it affects us in a significant way.
Of the 600 residents living here, only 6 have had COVID. The facility does constant surveillance testing and follows federally mandated guidelines. And when it comes to vaccinations, 59% of their staff took the plunge to do it.
That includes both full-time and part-time staff. But the better news I found out recently, our staff who work here the most, about 75% of them are vaccinated.
His message for those living outside of these protected grounds, mask up. And if you can get vaccinated, do.
You know, there is no mandates anymore, so it's really about everyone's good common sense.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Well, in response to the Delta variant, St. John's United has decided to change guest protocols for the last event of their summer concert series, including mask wearing and asking people again to get vaccinated. Well, the crew of the Navy warship named after the city of Billings has been busy as of late. Take a look at these pictures that the Billings Gold Crew Thundercats posted on their Facebook page. They took part in counter-narcotics operations in the Caribbean Sea recently and stopped some 1,350 kilos of cocaine from making it to the northern shores. It would have been worth an estimated $33.7 million on the black market. Still to come on the MTN 10 o'clock news, we're going to head to the farm. We'll meet a Montana hay farmer who's been feeding Flathead Valley livestock for 8 decades. The Montana Ag Network report is coming up next. And in sports, a Billings Little League team has its sights set on another World Series appearance. And this year, the odds may be better than ever. We'll hear why coming up in just a bit.